Hello and a warm welcome to Legends of Lifesciences, the journey into the hearts of India's health and wellness revolution. Kicking off this journey, we are proud to feature an industry titan, an organization that stands as the world's largest manufacturer of empty heart capsules and pharmaceutical machines with a footprint spanning 138 countries across 6 continents. Welcome to ACG Group. From the ACG Group, we are honored to welcome visionary leader and industry titan, Mr. Ajit Singh. ACG has been a pillar of the pharmaceutical industry for over 60 years now. Can you take us back to the origin story and the vision that shaped its foundation?
Well, thank you. To go back to the beginning, I need to acknowledge my father was a great entrepreneur. My mother, who was our driving force between my brother and me, applying ourselves assiduously and continuously to working to make our careers a success. And of course, my brother Jasjeet, who has been my lifelong partner and friend and guide. And we totally depended on each other for this journey. We were complementary to each other. He was an engineer and I was more a sort of marketing economist, and we gelled in very well together. And I would definitely like to say the last several years, the growth of the company and its success has been due to my nephew, Karan Singh, who has been at the helm of things and taking our companies into very new directions within our field.
Very nice, very nice. Your academic background spans institutions like Cambridge and Harvard. How did those formative years shape your worldview and business philosophy?
Well, if I might be flippant for a moment, Cambridge University taught me how to recognize and enjoy really great wine. But Harvard Business School taught me how to earn the money to buy the bottle.
Wow.
So that's one little difference. Cambridge teaches you how to think. Cambridge University leaves you alone. They don't encourage you to attend too many lectures. They want you to be thinking and working with a tutor. Cambridge University teaches you values, which in our case we could only apply when our companies became much bigger. And Cambridge University teaches you the joy of learning through the rest of your life. Now, the Harvard Business School is much more business-like. They control your day from 6 in the morning till about 11 at night every day. And they push you till almost breaking point. Harvard University teaches you fundamentally on how to make a decision in the face of inadequate facts. Decision making at the end of a debate is very important. At Cambridge, very often, the final decision was never arrived at. It remained woolly and depended always on new information coming in. Cambridge is different in that way, and a combination of both, I think, has helped me a great deal. Incidentally, most of my family also went to the Harvard Business School, so my brother was there, and Karan, my nephew, was there. Every year, we send a couple of our senior managers also to the shorter courses at the business school. We have found it a part of our life.
Yeah. How long did you stay there after your graduation?
My plan was to go on to the Sorbonne, which was very fashionable in those days, and do a PhD in industrial psychology or some sort of subject which encompassed science and the arts. Unfortunately, it did not happen. My father passed away and we came back to India. We came back to India in our early 20s, mid-20s, came back not really knowing our country very well anymore. Nobody in the family to advise us in terms of business, and with very little money, because my father warned me when I was 18 years old that he's not going to leave me and my brother any money, because he never got any money from his father, and he was planning to spend all his money, so to be prepared for that. And that's, I think, one of the reasons, plus my mother's driving, that made Jaspreet and me really work very hard to make our own living.
That's very nice. And we move on to the next question now. As someone who has observed the pharmaceutical and allied industries for decades, how would you describe India's transformation in this sector over the years?
Well, I think one of the most transformative industries that have not been recognized fully so far is the pharma industry, and even more so the pharma ancillary industry, to which me and my family belong. Transformative because from the early 60s we had no industry. There were only a few big international companies that were exporting medicines to India, and at very high prices. It was the wisdom of the government of India to seek the help of the Russians to put up their first major 3 plants. And it is not only the beginning of the pharma industry, along with a few companies like Alembic, Sarabhai, Ranbaxy, that got the start of the industry. Many people left IDPL and started their own companies. For example, Dr. Reddy. He was a chemist there, and he got started with his own company, which is now one of the world leaders. So the industry really started then, and it was the genius of the Indian people that developed technology which did not get developed elsewhere in the world, because things are so tightly held by certain countries in their own private capacity. So as the industry grew, quite unnoticed, grew the pharmaceutical ancillaries industry. By ancillaries, what does one mean? It means the machinery, it means the capsules, the packaging, the injectables, the whole lot of apparatus that is required to make a medicine. And just consider this. Just consider that the pharma industry, and I adore them and I owe my living to them, but the pharma industry brings in what is called a small quantity of bulk drug or API.
That's right.
After that, it's the ancillaries that take over. It's the mixing equipment that makes a formulation. It is a filling machine and tableting machine that fills the capsules and tablets. It's the blister packing machine that blister packs them, blister packing film that is required to pack the capsule. Finally, it goes into a carton. All that is done by the ancillaries.
That's good. Yeah.
And all the technology that goes into making a medicine, other than the single bulk drug molecule, it all comes from ancillaries. India has not imported any ancillary equipment, I'd say, for the last 30 or 40 years, except for a trickle here or there. There is no country in the world that does not import most of its ancillaries. And large countries like Russia, Indonesia, and this is what has really created the whole pharma industry in this larger ecosystem.
Very nice, very understanding. When you started this company, do you had any vision at what level you have to reach?
Well, we always thought that the sky is not the limit.
That's right.
Jaspreet and me. And this comes in not by accident, but it so happened that 2 generations ago, both my grandfathers were great achievers. One of them built the Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi.
Wow.
And ended up as one of the most prominent people in North India. He left all his money to charity. And my mother's father was in the Indian Civil Service, which was the steel frame of the empire. And the area that he covered was more than the whole of England. So with these antecedents, no wonder my brother and I felt that we were now right at the bottom, but we have to rise to where the family once
Wants to go.
And that pushed us forward a great deal.
Awesome, awesome. The next question we move on to, nutraceuticals are becoming increasingly mainstream. What trends you to see shaping the future of nutraceutical industry in India and globally?
Well, the nutra industry globally is proving its worth. Nutraceutical products in America are probably equivalent in volume to pharma. In India, they're still in their infancy. Now, why do I say that the Nutra industry has got a great future?
Yeah.
Well, it's simple, and it was proven during COVID. Nutra products give you immunity against disease. It ensures wellness.
That's right.
Wellness is a state you want to be in right through the year, all your life. When you fall sick, unfortunately, for 2 or 3 weeks maximum in the year, you take medicines. So the medicine market is limited to when people are sick. Whereas the wellness market, the Nutra market is all the time when you're well. So ultimately, the Nutra industry, as people get enlightened and as it becomes more widely available and accepted, is going to become far bigger than the pharma market, which just cures you when you're ill.
This capsule industry you have selected, it was by choice or you really wanted to do something great in this industry, in this segment?
No, I had no idea what a capsule was, nor had my brother. We, of course, consumed some capsules without thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's a tiny product, but with the accuracy of a ball bearing. However, it sells for a few paisa. A ball bearing sells for over 100 rupees. So we work to the same degree. My father applied for a license to make capsules, not knowing again what it was all about. A couple of pharmacists advised him he must get into this business. Earlier, he was in the stone and marble and granite business in Rajasthan, Kota Stone. So, shortly after choosing a location, which was in the middle of nowhere, outside Bombay, he passed away. So we came back and we had an option to look at the stone business or look at the capsule business. And we decided on the capsule business. And then the first 8 or 10 years were pretty tough, like they are for any new industry. There was no market for capsules. There was no technology available with us, and we had no money. Can you imagine better qualifications for a startup?
Yeah.
So we managed to get the technology in various ways, mostly from Her Majesty's Patent Office, which is free technology available. We managed to create a market by creating a small capsule filling machine so that the capsule filling industry, which was hands of 10 or 12 large companies, became democratized. We sold 2,000 small hand filling machines to 800 companies. The result was massive availability of product, and the prices of the product went down because there was a lot of competition. So to some extent, we did what the government has been trying to do all these years.
How do you get all this courage to venture into big things in life?
We don't have the courage. We had driven. The first 10 years was mere survival. And after that, we broke through with a lot of innovation.
Okay.
And, we were young. We were Jaspreet and I. By the time we made it, we were still nearing 33, 34. We missed our childhood.
Yeah.
No fast cars, no parties, nothing. We were stuck in a place called Kadnivli. Nobody spoke English for miles around. I lost my English accent because everybody laughed at me when I tried to give a speech to our workers. And that took me time to kill the accent.
Now they wouldn't laugh at you now.
No. I think I have a fairly neutral accent now. At least I try to have it.
We'll move on to the next question now.
Yes.
How do you view the strategic importance of nutraceuticals within the larger pharmaceutical ecosystem, and especially in the emerging markets like India?
Interestingly, nutraceuticals had a slow start in India. For some reason, the pharma industry was growing so fast and becoming global, they didn't have time to look at Nutra. So Nutra started with just a few companies, mostly newcomers. But I believe now it has caught the attention of the pharma industry. Pharma industry is already well equipped to make nutraceuticals. They have all the equipment which is required. The technology is not as complicated. There are many other advantages. You can advertise your product freely, and you can use the power of knowledge and promotion, word to mouth, to get your product moving. Also, there is an incredible market, as I said, for Nutra. It's a little hidden still. I believe that we need companies that are prepared to make mass production of Nutra and make it available to the public. And for that, we need possibly somewhat lower prices.
How is your expansions and seeing in the future of market demand and all? Are you ahead?
Yes, we are keeping up with demand. What is interesting is ours is possibly the only capsule company in the world that is creating new demand, or creating new types of capsules, creating new uses for capsules. We started our journey abroad once we'd exhausted the Indian market. And our first plant was in Croatia. It took a long time because it was our first time abroad. But we found Croatia a real gem of a country, and we can talk about that separately if you like. But two presidents of Croatia visited our plant. Mrs. Sitaraman, who was then Minister for Industries, has visited our plant. And that plant now supplies more than half the requirements of capsules of the whole of Europe.
Oh, very amazing.
After that, we went to Brazil. We have 3 plants in Brazil, one for capsules, second for packaging films. It's still a mystery to me how we did it. But within 4.5 years, our new greenfield plant had 60% of the market of the whole of South America. So that's the strength of this group. The strength it shows in its excellence of product and its excellent marketing, and most important, closeness to the customer and caring for the customer.
This is truly an inspiring journey of yours. It's going to be motivating a lot of people around the globe. With Indian startups now dealing standardized herbal extracts and clinically backed formulations, how is the global perception of Indian origin nutraceuticals entering?
We have still a long way to go in terms of understanding marketing, not only for nutraceuticals but also for pharmaceuticals. I often ask myself, why do most products from India need to sell at a lower price than the products made in Europe? I don't think made in India should anymore be a
cheap product.
Cheap product. But we've got used to selling on price. And our salespeople have to really understand that if you're giving the same product, you should get the value for your product. So this is something we have to learn. Good marketing, good branding, distribution we're already doing pretty well. But these two are still weak points.
What is your vision of ACG over the next 5 to 10 years, especially in terms of sustainability, innovation, and market leadership?
Well, our best shot at sustainability is a little different. For us, sustainability means expertise in the products you're in and deep knowledge and passion therein. Sustainability for us means a succession plan. Succession for a private industry is more important than sustainability, which helps the whole world. And you find too many Indian companies and European companies without a succession plan. Either there's intestine fighting within the family, or the children of European companies, people in our business, their children don't want to work on the shop floor. They don't want to be in production. They don't want a 3-shift operation. So it actually keeps, therefore, the door wide open for companies like India. We are used to working very hard, and we're used to excellence in terms of what we do.
That's right. With changing global regulations and increasingly focus on compliance, traceability, how is ACG staying ahead of this curve?
Well, because we have an international presence. We have agents in about 148 countries who keep us informed. We have factories on 4 continents. We have research centers in three parts of the world: India, Germany, and South Africa. And so information keeps flooding in. We get more than 50 magazines on the pharma industry. So we actually keep ourselves ahead of our pharma customers in terms of regulations, and very often play an advisory role, which then differentiates ourselves from those others who are merely suppliers.
And finally, what advice would you give to young Indian entrepreneurs looking to create globally respected brands in the health and wellness span?
Well, in whatever field you're in and you're starting up, you have to have great passion. We have far too many startups that are upstarts. And you should be very careful that you don't go into those where you want to make a quick exit and it's not the right thing for this country. So you have passion, and then you have focus, and you have energy. And energy comes out of passion and focus. So that's what you need to get in. It doesn't matter what the product is. We're talking about pharma and nutra, but this applies to any product. The pharma industry is overcrowded at the present time. There will be some evening out, and we're seeing that happen. The nutra industry is also getting too many small entrants, and one or two bad industrialists can ruin the reputation of a company.
Do you have any intentions to diversify your industry? Like there are so many other branches.
When you focus and specialize on an industry, whatever it be, you find there's so much more to do within that industry. And when you do that and you focus, you actually become very powerful.
That's right.
You know more than others who are diversified, and you stick to your knitting, and you become number one in the world, where we of course
which you already are there.
In machinery and soon to be in capsules. Which is a great thing for India, because there's no other product in the world.
India is blessed to have you.
No, well, we are blessed to be in India. We are blessed with a government that cares for the nation.
That's right.
We are blessed with a government that keeps our borders secure. We have a government that has put in fair play and the rule of law in this country. We are not scared of being kidnapped like I am when I visit some of my other plants. And also it gives us probably one of the world's largest markets within the country, without any customs borders. And so important, India has maintained peace with almost every other country. So there are no sanctions on India. We export freely.
That's true.
Therefore, we're very grateful that we are in India.
That's right. Thank you. We'll move on to Wellness Rapid Round.
Make sure you don't make me sick.
One word that describes your journey with ACG.
The journey with ACG has been one of great fun, because what we ultimately were doing, we had a fantastic hobby called making capsules and machinery and packaging. Every product that we made concerned wellness and peace. Our products go to millions of people around the world, hundreds of billions of people, and then they get well. They see our capsule, they know it's made on our machine, they know it's been packaged by us, and their blessings emanate older people, sick people, dying people. The blessings go round the world, and they settle on our plants in various countries, and they bless the plants, and they bless our people who are there. And that is why my constant message to our people is we are responsible for lives. Let's do our best. Let's make great, beautiful quality. Let's deliver on time, and let's keep the world healthy.
Awesome. One word that describes your journey with ACG.
Let me give you two words: passion and focus.
The biggest myth about the nutraceutical industry.
There is no myths. It's a great industry. It needs to be better recognized and better promoted.
Legacy or disruption. What makes more challenging to manage?
Disruption.
An Indian herb or Ayurveda ingredient you personally believe in?
Curcumin.
One thing Indian nutraceutical brand must improve to success globally?
Again, good marketing and better distribution.
Your biggest inspiration in business, in India or global?
Definitely my brother Jasjeet and my nephew Karan. They're my guidelines, what were the makeup for all my my
Thank you.
weaknesses, and I make up for theirs. Together, we're a great team.
Finally, in one word, what does the future of nutraceuticals look like to you?
Well, as I said, the sky is the limit. It'll be much bigger than Pharma in the years to come.
Mr. Ajit Singh, it's very honor to have you with us today.
It's my honor. Thank you for taking this interest in our group.
Thank you. We'll be back soon with another icon, another story in our next episode. Thank you so much for joining us. See you soon again.